Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly cloudy and blustery good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Blustery, this is one of these days where it's two bricks in the back pocket type of day. We're looking at wind gusts out of the west. This hour, 40 miles per hour at the airport. Here at Radio Center, not quite as windy. But then you move up into northern Michigan. They're looking at wind gusts of almost 50 miles per hour in some spots. The reason why it's more so there is because they're closer to the low pressure system. That low has really been moving. Barometer, especially when you get up into northern Michigan, where it's snowing right now in Iron Mountain, their barometer is at 29.47. But it is rising. Wind chill in Houghton is 7. The wind chill in Ironwood is 0. Looking at 13 wind chill at Copper Harbor, but we're talking mid-20s, and then wind gusts of, Copper Harbor had a wind gust out of the north at 47 miles per hour this hour, the 11 o'clock hour. Currently, we have a west wind gusting 240 at the airport, 29.71, and rising is the barometric pressure. 16 degrees is what we're looking at as far as a wind chill. 30 degrees now. We are a good 23 degrees cooler than what we were about 11 hours ago. Our high temperature for the day, we set that right after midnight. Our high temperature for yesterday was set just before 11 o'clock last night. The frontal system moved through, as we mentioned, early this morning, and the temperature began to drop like a lead balloon. So we're looking at 30, and by the time we move into the evening hours, we'll be talking somewhere around 24, 25 degrees for a low tonight. There are some flurries around, and fortunately, it does appear as though that's going to be about it. The further west you get, though, they are looking at some snow showers. And if you remember yesterday when we were talking to you, we mentioned they were getting some pretty heavy snow in southeastern portions of Minnesota and the northwest corner of Wisconsin. The airport at Minneapolis was closed yesterday for a while. They officially had a little bit better than 8 inches of snow in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, and they have picked up more overnight last night and early this morning. That low is a very fast-moving one. It's almost to Hudson Bay right now. So that's the reason why northern Michigan, especially the UP, it's a lot colder and still a lot windier. But as we go through the afternoon, the wind speeds are going to die down just a little bit. Instead of the upper 40s to 50 miles per hour, a little bit closer to 40 miles per hour with wind gusts, and then maybe a little bit into the 30s. For us, the wind gusts are going to be right around 40 to 45 miles per hour, pretty much ongoing for the remainder of the day today, coming out of the west. Tomorrow, we'll have more in the way of sun. It'll be a few clouds around. Our high temperature tomorrow after a low tonight of 24 will be 35. High pressure over northern Virginia is the reason why things are clearing out the further east you get. But there is a low pressure system over Wyoming, and that one just materialized within the last 24 hours, and it is going to be a very fast mover as well. So sunshine tomorrow, 35 for a high, 27 for a low. Then on Friday, clouds will be increasing as we go through the day. That Wyoming low is going to plow right into the Great Lakes on Friday night and during the day on Saturday. So 43 for a high, 40 for a low on Friday night. That's because of a warm front ahead of that low. Then on Saturday, we're going to be looking at clouds, showers in the morning, low 50s. And then once that low moves to the east of us, we're going to drop once again. As far as our temperatures go, low 50s for a high in the morning, right around 30 later in the afternoon on Saturday. Partly cloudy skies Saturday night, low 20s. Then on Sunday, partly cloudy, upper 30s, mid 20s for a low. Then on Monday and Tuesday, more in the way of clouds, 40 to 42 degrees for a high both days. So very rapidly moving systems and temperatures varying rather wildly, kind of like the markets as we go through the next few days. Record high in this date is 64, set back in 1998. The record low 4, set in 1958. A year ago, 36 was our high. We picked up about 0.2 of an inch of snow. Our low a year ago today was 24. And for the month of November, we had 2.6 inches of snow officially a year ago. What are we looking at right now as far as snow goes? A little bit better than an inch at the airport for the month of November. So obviously we're about half of the amount of snow that what we are looking at so far this year. Slightly below average now, our temperatures ranging beginning about the 5th of December through the 13th. Pretty much average as far as moisture goes. Once we roll past the 9th of December, our temperatures are still going to range a little bit below. Our moisture will also be a little bit below. Sun will set at 5:01 this afternoon, rise tomorrow morning at 7:49. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Cody Harris standing by. We'll take a look and see what's going on in Frankenmuth, where there's snow flurries, and what's going on the board at Star of the West. Doug Klein, of course, along with us. He'll be joining us in a little bit. But before we do all of that, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. Being prepared is what it's all about, and they've been helping farmers in 2022, and they're looking forward to working with you next year because risk management is a vital tool in the toolbox when it comes to agriculture today. And the folks at the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency have up-to-date information on crop insurance, what you can expect, what you can anticipate, and what changes could be made. They're one of the first to know. They are licensed to serve all of Michigan with both conventional and organic crop insurance. You can reach their agents on their cell for questions or emergencies. Or you can call the office in Reese, 989-868-4722. The Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. Say good morning to Cody Harris. Cody, what's going on?
Well, good morning, Terry. Like I said, other than a little snow flurries here in Frankenmuth, it seems like we got a pretty good mixed bag here on the Chicago Board of Trade as we're in the middle of the week.
So the reason why it's mixed up a little bit?
Well, right now, corn's the only one right now in the negative. You got soybeans and wheat actually in the positive. It seems like soybeans kind of continuing that train. It may be the only one to head out of November here today, actually gaining some momentum as we move out. But more or less looking at some crop progress reports, especially on the wheat side of things. We're looking at some historical lows for good, excellent ratings for much of the winter wheat crop for wheat. As we look at soybeans, there's just a lot of good demand for soybeans. Right now, the crush demand, that's very strong. So really no sign of slowing down anytime soon. And in addition to that, what we've been talking about, it seems like the last couple of weeks or so, it's still receiving some support from the dry weather in Argentina. And a lot of traders are going to be watching out for tomorrow. Terry, the Buenos Aires Grain Exchange is going to have its next update on that planting progress down in Argentina. So that's kind of a major factor a lot of people are looking at right now. But looking at these prices, let's see what we got here. Oh, right now we got cash wheat. That's up 6 here at the moment. 738 on the white, 688 on the red. Looking at new crop 23 wheat. That's up 3, 780 on the white, 730 on the red. Then looking at cash corn, we're going to call it down 4 at 607. The new crop 23 corn, that's down 8 here this morning at 548. And then look over at soybeans, cash soybeans, those are up 3 at 1387. And then I'm going to call new crop 23 soybeans unchanged at 1331.
Cody, thank you. You have a great day, and keep the shovel handy, okay?
Will do. You as well, Terry.
All righty. Cody Harris over at Star of the West. A little bit more on the markets. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joining me. The market report brought to you by the folks at Schaefer and Beerline. Now's the time to order that Ram 1525 or 3500. So come see the folks at Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth, the Great Lakes Bay Area's certified ag dealer. They specialize in all models of new Ram commercial trucks and vans. So you can buy with confidence from Schaefer and Beerline since 1852, where family and service sells cars. And by the folks at Thumb Bank, serving the needs of agriculture for well over 125 years. 2 locations in Bay City. Also Cassidy, Caseville, Pigeon, Bad Axe, Marlette. They've got them. They've got them all over, and they're ready to take care of you with whatever you need to close the year out. Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust. Doug Klein, what's shaking these days other than your lawn and garden furniture in the backyard?
Yeah, no kidding. Well, crude oil's up today, and so is heating oil and gasoline. Are both up today. 3.5%. So that's not pretty. I'm sure people are kind of thinking that this rail strike might drive prices higher. So fill up your tanks while you still can, and we'll see what happens. I don't know that they're going to be able to avert a rail strike at this point. They said that 8 unions accepted the deal and 4 unions said no, and it's all about sick pay. They don't get sick pay, period. Haven't got it for 40 years. So that's what the whole thing is about.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to Chuck Lipstrew in just a moment with the Michigan Agribusiness Association about that rail strike, see what's going on, get the latest.
I mean, what the heck? It's just sick pay. But then, it's probably $10 million or more for the owners of those railroads. Who knows? But I did see that the pipelines are starting to move up in price because I think they're going to be able to charge more for their services. The ones that are operational. Of course, the ones that aren't operational. So what good does that do? I don't know. I mean, the ex-president in China died there, Xi Jinping. He was kind of like Reagan for us, free market guy after Tiananmen Square, and so that's kind of shaking up I think it's kind of shaking up the markets a little bit, because now they've got that Xi in place, and he's a little more of a communist, hard-nosed communist, and I don't even want to go there as far as what could happen when they get that way. So we'll have to see, but here's your numbers. The December corn is 660 3/4, down a nickel. The September of 23 corn, 615, down 7 1/4. The March soybeans, 1468 3/4, up 2 3/4. November of 23 soybeans, 1394 3/4, down a penny and a quarter. December wheat, 763 1/4, up 5 1/2. And then the July of 23 wheat, $8 even, up 3 cents. Crude oils, 80.66, up $2.46. Heating oil is 332 3/4, that's up 8 1/2 cents. Gasoline is 241.50, up 8 1/4 cents. Natural gas is 6.90, down 33 1/2 cents. Currencies: Canadian dollar. U.S. dollar buys you 135.27 at the border, down 51 ticks. The dollar buys 139.32 yen, that's up 64 ticks. The euro's at 103.17, down 10 ticks. And the dollar's at 106.89, that's up 7 ticks. Gold's at $17.52.70, up $4.30. Silver's $21.69, up 48 1/2 cents. Platinum's at $10.44.40, that's up $35.80.
All right. Doug, take care.
Yep, you too.
Hey, we'll talk to you later. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. We said we were going to have Chuck Lipstrew on the line with us. He is with the Michigan Agribusiness Association. Chuck Lipstrew. Chuck, let's talk a little bit about that rail strike. Doug Klein began his conversation with it. What's the latest right now, Chuck?
Well, hey, Terry, the latest we've seen today is the U.S. House is likely to take up, or it may already have this morning, a measure to take the agreement that railroads and rail unions already made. They already reached a work agreement in September, and Congress needs to take action to enact that to avoid a catastrophic rail strike. Certainly our association and many ag interests around the country are pushing hard for Congress to get that done. So if it has not already moved out of the House today, it will. It's likely to. The big question mark at this point is the U.S. Senate. To get anything done in the Senate, it takes 60 votes. And this is something that has to happen in a timely fashion. So we've continued to highlight the serious problems that would occur if the rail network shuts down. This would be unprecedented in scope, Terry. There hasn't been a rail strike since 1991, and that was only one of the Class 1 rail carriers, the CSX. This would be all of them. We can't get to December 9th and have a rail strike. So we're working hard on that this week, as are many around the country.
Oh, that sounds good. Keep us on top of the situation, okay, Chuck?
We'll do what we can out here, Terry.
All right. Take care. Have a good day.
Thanks, sir.
You bet. Chuck Lipstrew with the Michigan Agribusiness Association. Jerry Samolsky joining us right now with Bay Landscaping and Garden Center over in Essexville. Well, the wind is a-howling. I hope everybody batten down the hatches, Jerry.
Yeah, Terry, sure is. One of the things that happens in these windstorms, and this one might not be so bad because we're kind of dry, but wet soils and windstorms tend to tip trees over. And when you get a tree that's tipped over, so many people say, well, let's just stake it. On a bigger tree, it doesn't really work. Smaller trees, you can maybe dig up and reposition. But on a big tree, when you need to stake it, you have to pull it really hard, maybe use a come along or, a piece of equipment to drag it straight. But then when you stake it, you have to stake it for years, not just like a year or two, for years. Because what happens is the movement of plants in the normal wind causes root growth to help hold it up. But once it tips over and you pull it back, it doesn't move like it used to, so the roots don't form back like they should. So if you have to pull a tree up, it's going to be staked a long time. And in that case, you want to run a bolt through the center of the trunk versus going all the way around it. I put it akin to, I'd rather have a tracheotomy than a piano string around my neck.
There you go. And of course, the bigger trees, I think they work a lot better in a fireplace someplace, really.
That might be the best. That might be the best use of them. Unfortunately, yes.
All right, Jerry, have a good one.
You too. Talk to you tomorrow.
All right, talk to you tomorrow with a plant of the week. Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville.
How do you make the most of your land? Well, it depends who you ask. If you ask the Wrens or the Caggianos, who run with us on John Deere mowers, they'd tell you.
I mow first, then I do all the trimming.
Get as much done in advance as possible.
I jump out of the house, a cup of coffee, and I'm at work.
But the Upshaws, the Hubbards, and the Allens who work behind the wheel of John Deere compact tractors would say,
something that's worth doing isn't always easy.
If it's something you want, just go after it and try it.
And most of all,
I'll make the earth take the shape that I want it to take.
Then there's the Nelsons and the Mosers, who may mention from the seat of their Gator UTVs.
It's important to just take it one day at a time.
You can't be all working up, right?
The most fun we have on the Gator is just ripping around the property.
It's a way of life. There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. How will you make the most of yours? Nothing runs like a Deere.
Contact one of Tri-County Equipment's 11 locations in Bad Axe, Birch Run, Burton, Caro, Fenton, Lapeer, Marlette, Reese, Rochester Hills, Saginaw, or Sandusky, or visit Tri-County Equipment online at tricountyequipment.com.
Sugar beet growers, do you have problems with nematodes? Well, then you need to know about Hilleshog's latest nematode-resistant variety. It's HIL 3223NT. Now, it's bred for and trialed here in Michigan. 2332NT is high yielding with high sugar and offers one of the strongest root disease packages available, which means you can stop worrying about nematodes, Rhizoctonia, root aphids, and more. Contact your Hilleshog agent and find out how you can make your farm generation strong by planting Hilleshog. Farm Service brought to you by Stein Seeds. For elite genetics paired with simple, flexible, and effective weed control, plant Stein Enlist E3 soybeans. Stein has yield plus advantage. Learn more at steinseed.com. Scott DeVries joining me right now with Nutrien Ag Solutions. Scott, kind of blustery out there to do any soil testing today, wouldn't you think?
I think it's just a little too, the weather's just off a bit. So, there's lots of other things on the plate that we can work on right now.
What should we be working at right now, Scott?
Well, inside the Nutrien, I think as we get ready for 23, we're wrapping up 22. We have a goal to be the most reliable supplier. And when we do that, we got to start planning quite a bit ahead. And we got a lot of growers who are now getting ready for tax season, figuring out how the yields were, getting the report cards taken care of, how their crop consultants did, and things like that. So right now we're working on securing products, making crop plans, and, what do we do best to work with our growers? That's going to take a two-way communication. So we're looking forward to working with a lot of growers and have a lot of conversations in the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of meetings too, aren't we?
There sure are. I mean, this next week starts my big meeting season, and I think between the expo on the west side for the fruit and vegetable guys, we got a lot of grower meetings starting to come up at our local Nutrien locations.
Well, drive carefully, Scott. We'll talk to you again soon, okay?
All right. Be safe out there, Terry.
Will do. Scott DeVries with Nutrien Ag.
At Beta Seed, we deliver the nation's premier sugar beet seed every spring and superior performance every fall. But neither represent our most important delivery. That honor is reserved for a delivery that knows no season. Confidence. Confidence delivered by a team of breeding professionals identifying the best traits tailored to your market. It's the industry's leading feedback loop that's led by your Beta Seed rep. From grower to rep to breeder and back again. Only Beta Seed can deliver all that. Beta Seed, breeding confidence.
What should we be doing right now? Well, let's find out. Chuck Cervinsky, Maple Hill Nursery over in Midland. Chuck, are we talking about getting soil ready for next year?
Yeah, we're talking late fall garden fertilizing in that vegetable garden. Old man winter's coming, as we are getting a taste of today, and we still have got a little time to get that done if you haven't had time to do it. And applying something now is going to give that garden a little pick-me-up for next year. How about trying something a little different this year, maybe organic if you've never done it before? How about Healthy Garden from Morgan Composting? It's powered by Dairy Dew and packed with organic, all-natural plant and plant-available nutrients. It's also a great source of calcium. It's chemical-free and completely safe to use on edible plants of any kind. You spread it by hand. You can use a spreader if you want. For an established garden, you're going to want to spread it at the rate of about 2 to 3 pounds per 500 square foot. If it's a new garden for next year, take and double that rate. And we have it available here in both 4 and 25-pound bags at the store.
And we can stop by, right?
You sure can. You can stop in and see us and let us show you how to do it with Dairy Dew products from Morgan Composting. And you can also give us a call at 989-835-4708.
Thank you very much, Scott and Chuck. Experience the most reliable RTK signal from PC Ag Solutions, compatible with most GPS receivers. Trade in your old radio or modem and get an affordable subscription through us. We have over 25 base station locations across the Lower Peninsula, and we're always looking to add more to our network. Discover more power, more accuracy, and more coverage with our 450 megahertz signal. Call us to learn more today. PC Ag Solutions, 989-868-4444. We now conclude our program with a playing of our national anthem.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW